Something remarkable has taken place in recent hours, an event that will forever transform how you view the signs unfolding in our time. While much of the world was sleeping, a divine message appeared across the heavens, marking only a few nations with a seal of celestial protection. What you are about to learn is no coincidence. It is an urgent summons for your soul to awaken. Do you truly believe you arrived here by chance? Out of countless possible messages, something beyond the ordinary has led you to this moment. Write in the comments, "I declare with faith, He has not forgotten me," as an act of connection with the sacred right now. Together, we can raise a single voice in prayer that will rise directly to the heart of heaven. In dreams and visions, the Virgin Mary has appeared to chosen seers across the earth, whispering the same names again and again: Brazil, Portugal, Poland, the Philippines, Mexico, Ireland, and Peru, 7 nations set apart. As a great and devastating natural event approaches, silent yet unstoppable, like a hidden avalanche. You are not here by coincidence, for your spirit has already sensed that the prophetic moment is near. The sky is painted with warning signs, and those with eyes to see are already noticing them. The stars shift in unusual patterns, flocks of birds alter their paths, and even the wind carries an urgent tone. Nature is responding to what is coming, but few are listening. While authorities conceal the truth and the media distracts with superficial noise, the heavens continue to speak through extraordinary signs. Rainfall where it should occur is vanishing. Earthquakes have risen by more than threefold in certain regions. Solar storms now strike our atmosphere with unprecedented force. All of these occurrences are linked to what you are about to uncover. "I am healing what no other could touch," the Virgin Mary softly told a visionary just before dawn yesterday. The tears of the Mother of God are more than sorrow, they are urgent pleas for her children scattered over the earth. Her vigilance grows because time is running short, and only certain nations will rest under her mantle of divine care. The phenomenon on its way has no parallel in modern human history. Researchers have identified a magnetic disturbance at the Earth's core that is disrupting the planet in ways never recorded before. What they do not realize is that this disruption is only the outward sign of something greater stirring in the spiritual realm. The earth is laboring like a woman on the verge of birth. Only those nations that have kept the true flame of faith burning will hold the shield of divine protection. Write in the comments, "God is restoring my soul." If at this moment these words resonate deeply within you, know that Brazil's place among the chosen is no accident. For centuries, Our Lady of Aparecida has stood as its heavenly guardian, and now her mantle extends beyond borders, covering the entire land. Yet this blessing carries a condition: it must be upheld by collective spiritual dedication. The prayers of the people are the strength that sustains this protection. Portugal, the birthplace of a renewed Catholic spirit, is where Our Lady of Fatima revealed 3 messages whose echoes remain to this day. The land where humble shepherd children once saw visions that transformed history is again at the heart of a heavenly unfolding. Those events of 1917 were the opening act of a cosmic story now reaching its peak. Poland, homeland of John Paul II, where devotion to Mary is woven into the nation's identity, remains under angelic guardianship. The Black Madonna of Częstochowa, has shed tears of joy for her faithful people, who have clung to belief even in their darkest hours. In the Philippines, where the Catholic faith flourished in Asia like a rare blossom in the desert, wondrous signs have manifested: crucifixes that bleed, statues that weep, and children who suddenly speak unknown languages, declaring words of prophecy and protection over their nation. The Lord has not forsaken those who worship in spirit and truth. Mexico throbs with the enduring presence of Our Lady of Guadalupe, whose unexplained image on Juan Diego's cloak continues to mystify science after nearly 5 centuries. Now the purpose is clear: it serves as a shield of grace stretched over the nation. Speak these words with faith: He has not forgotten me. Ireland, a land rich with saints and mystics, carries prayers in every stone and melodies of worship in every hill. This country has received the mark of protection, as St. Patrick's intercession continues and the humble shamrock still speaks of the Holy Trinity's embrace. Peru, where the spiritual heritage of the Andes blends with Christian devotion in a way unlike anywhere else, has felt angelic footsteps over the ancient heights of Machu Picchu. There, protection has been spoken over the descendants of the Inca, who turned their hearts toward Christ. Why have only these 7 countries been chosen? The answer is found in the depth of their collective faith, in the purity of the prayers that rise like incense toward heaven, and in the unshakable spiritual resilience they have displayed against forces determined to erase all that is sacred in this world. The great event drawing near is not meant as a punishment, but as a cleansing. Just as a goldsmith purifies gold in the fire, the Creator is preparing the world for a new chapter in human history. Before that transformation unfolds, it is necessary to shield those who have stayed faithful, those who have resisted surrendering to the modern idols of greed, hollow materialism, and spiritual indifference. I lifted you up when you no longer believed in yourself. This was the message that, in the early hours of today, resonated at the same moment in the hearts of millions across these 7 nations. A calming wave of peace inexplicably entered homes, hospitals, places of confinement, and even the most hardened hearts. What scientists describe as a magnetic reversal is, in truth, the moment when the Earth will come into harmony with higher celestial frequencies. For days, perhaps for weeks, this alignment will prevail, and only those regions wrapped in spiritual protection will remain in peace and order. In other parts of the world, the same phenomenon will cause instability, sparking magnetic disturbances that could affect everything from technology to human emotions. Those prepared to receive what is coming are invited to affirm their faith in a simple way. Write the word Amen, acknowledging that something vast and life-altering is about to take place. A transformation destined to change your life forever. In their visions, the chosen seers were shown luminous maps in which only these 7 nations were bathed in golden light, while the rest of the earth lay in shadow. These were not shadows of total ruin, but of spiritual change, a process that not all places are ready to withstand. Brazil will serve as the beating heart of this new spiritual age. Across its expanse, networks of prayer intensify daily, forming a shield of energy so strong that even the mightiest cosmic forces cannot breach it. This is the promised refuge for the final days, a land where the Christian faith will endure in its purest form. Portugal will act as a bridge between what was and what will be. The ceaseless prayers rising from Fatima, for more than 100 years, have created radiant corridors of light connecting our world to the heavenly realms. Through these unseen pathways, blessings continue to descend upon the Iberian Peninsula. In Poland, crucifixes still adorn nearly every household, and children continue to bow their heads in evening prayer. The Catholic faith has grown roots so deep here that no storm of disbelief has managed to tear them out. This devotion has formed invisible ramparts encircling the nation. The Philippines, sacred islands of the Pacific, echo with constant songs of worship. Here, religious celebrations gather more souls than the grandest secular occasions. The unbroken flame of devotion serves as a signal to the heavens, summoning vessels of protection to hover over the land. In recent days, the visions have been so intense that some witnesses have collapsed from their sheer force. In Aparecida, an 8-year-old girl awoke speaking Aramaic, foretelling seas parting and winds shifting to shield Brazil. She had never learned the language, but when her words were examined by theologians, they were found to speak of divine intervention in unmistakable terms. If these words stir your heart, share them as an act of faith. A public declaration of trust awakens spiritual currents that operate far beyond human understanding. In Mexico, an elderly woman who had never once traveled from her quiet village received precise visions of geographical coordinates where angels had established hidden strongholds. When charted on a map, the points formed an exact, symmetrical pattern encircling the nation like an invisible ring of light. Ireland, where Druids long ago sensed the coming of Christ, and where St. Patrick brought the truth of the gospel, maintains a rare harmony between the tangible and the unseen. Stones weathered by centuries still hum with Gaelic prayers, their ancient vibrations forming protective waves that repel anything destructive. In Peru, the Great Nazca Lines, whose designs align with certain star formations, will witness a rare celestial arrangement at the height of the magnetic phenomenon. This is not chance, but a precise divine pattern, joining Andean heritage with Christ-centered devotion to shield a people who have preserved sacred traditions older than memory itself. What unites these 7 nations is not geography nor shared culture, but the strength of their prayers. Every whispered Hail Mary, every earnest Our Father, every tear shed in the hidden solitude of prayer, weaves another thread into a protective mantle surrounding them. I am healing what no one else could touch. At the same moment, across these lands, miracles beyond explanation are taking place, illnesses cured without medicine, families restored after decades of estrangement, long-closed doors swinging open in sudden welcome. It is as though an unseen symphony of grace is playing over them, note by note. The magnetic event is not an act of destruction, it is an unveiling, a revelation long foretold. At the height of this phenomenon, the boundaries between worlds will grow thinner, making it possible for celestial beings to interact more closely with our reality. Only nations vibrating at a higher spiritual frequency will be able to bear this nearness to holiness without experiencing turmoil, either socially or within the soul. Pause for a moment and write, "Thank you, God, for not letting me go." Even in those times you felt alone and forsaken, something wonderful was being prepared for you, and that reality is now on the verge of unfolding. Astronomical observatories have noted unexplained irregularities, constellations shifting paths, as if responding to an unseen cosmic invitation. What scientists have not yet grasped is the meaning behind these movements. The stars themselves are arranging in a heavenly chart that fits exactly with the maps of the 7 protected nations. From sacred visions, it has been revealed that each of these countries holds a distinct role, both during and after the unfolding event. Brazil will spark the birth of spiritual renewal for the entire world. Portugal has been entrusted with preserving sacred traditions. Poland will become a fortress for faith that does not waver. The Philippines will unite the spiritual East and West. Mexico will stand as a meeting point between ancient peoples and a new age. Ireland's unique wisdom rooted in mysticism will continue to be safeguarded, while Peru will connect long-lost civilizations with a future chosen by the divine. Weather experts continue to be astonished by patterns that contradict all previous forecasts. Storms that seemed poised to cause devastation melt away before reaching these borders. Hurricanes alter their routes for unknown reasons. Where drought once gripped the land, a sudden rainfall breaks the spell, and oppressive heat vanishes mysteriously. Science continues its search for tangible answers, yet the true causes are spiritual. Armies of angels have been set in motion, forming unseen shields that stop any harm from crossing into these sacred places. Leading these hosts, Saint Michael defends the loyal with unwavering strength. Children in these nations share uncanny dreams of giant angels stretching their wings in protection, golden light pouring down from the sky, and voices singing blessings in languages unknown to this world. These children awaken without dread, carrying a sense of deep comfort. Magnetic field detectors show impossible results in these 7 territories. Rather than chaos, there is a perfect order, as if each nation pulses with its own protective envelope. While experts are unable to interpret these readings, the spiritually attuned recognize a familiar energy. Just as the ancient Hebrew tribes were guarded in the desert, so now entire countries are wrapped in divine protection. If, as you read, these words seem written just for your soul, offer a heart as a sign that a message long waiting for your acknowledgement is now manifesting. Extraordinary accounts are appearing from all 7 nations. People once diagnosed with incurable illnesses are experiencing unexpected recoveries. Families long torn apart are coming together. Addictions are vanishing in mere hours. Intense despair is transformed into unexplainable gladness. These are more than chants. They are powerful signs of divine change taking hold in these regions. Archaeologists have uncovered a mysterious connection. Each of these nations contains sacred sites or ruins which, seen from above, form intricate geometric figures. These designs align with symbols found in ancient prophecies about divine shelters during the final days. The Virgin Mary is not merely watching, but interceding with active grace. Reports of simultaneous apparitions have come from each of the 7 at precisely 1533, the hour marking Jesus' last breath on the cross. Such synchronicity speaks to a new chapter of deliverance being ushered in through these chosen lands. Marian sanctuaries are witnessing phenomena that defy everyday explanation. Statues releasing the scent of roses absent of actual flowers, holy water never running dry, candles burning unceasingly though fierce winds howl around them, all protected as if by invisible hands. Economists are seeing yet another remarkable pattern. In a period of widespread market confusion, these nations experience an unanticipated strength, investments flourish, joblessness declines, and ventures once thought unattainable are now finding support from unexpected sources. Even physicists who study quantum effects are noticing anomalies in vibrational patterns unique to these territories. The matter in these places vibrates in harmony with frequencies that correspond to Gregorian chants and prayers in Latin. It is as if the very atomic structure of reality in these locations has been tuned to celestial frequencies through centuries of prayer and devotion. It is no coincidence that you have come here at this exact moment in your life. Your soul recognizes the spiritual truth being revealed, and something within you already knew extraordinary changes were on the way. Hospitals in these countries report a drastic reduction in emergencies during the periods of greatest intensity of the magnetic phenomenon. It is as if a special protection surrounds not only the land, but every person living in these blessed territories. Even doctors who were skeptical begin to acknowledge that something supernatural is happening. Communication systems that should fail during magnetic disturbances work perfectly in these countries. More than that, messages of faith, prayers, and words of hope sent through these networks receive inexplicable amplification, reaching far more people than technically possible. Commercial pilots report extraordinary experiences flying over these regions, turbulence calming instantly, headwinds turning favorable, and a deep peace filling the entire crew. Some describe seeing formations of light seemingly escorting the aircraft like angelic beings. Farmers witness miraculous harvests. Seeds planted in soils that should be infertile sprout with supernatural vigor. Plants that should perish during drought remain lush. Crops in neighboring countries suffer from pests, but these destructive insects simply avoid crossing the borders of these sacred lands. Nature in these countries dances to divine frequencies. Animals show unusually peaceful behavior. Birds sing more complex and harmonious melodies. Even predators seem to have lost their natural aggression, as if angelic presence transforms the natural order itself. Geologists have discovered that tectonic faults crossing these countries are stabilizing inexplicably. Expected earthquakes do not occur. Dormant volcanoes remain calm. The Earth's crust itself seems to respond to a stabilizing force beyond known physical laws. Write in the comments, "God is restoring my soul." If you feel your life is undergoing profound transformations that you cannot fully explain, but sense are part of a greater divine plan, know that artificial neural networks designed to predict human behavior completely fail when analyzing populations of these countries. Algorithms cannot process data showing exponential increases in happiness, peace, and hope, defying all traditional social and economic variables. Universities report unprecedented academic phenomena, with students demonstrating accelerated learning abilities in subjects related to spirituality, philosophy, and theology. It is as if minds in these territories are being prepared to understand deeper truths about existence and divine purpose. Medical research centers document unexplained changes in brain waves of inhabitants from these countries. Neural patterns show synchronization with frequencies neuroscientists associate with mystical ecstasy and deep spiritual connection. But these people experience this during everyday normal activities. Meteorological observatories record cloud formations that defy atmospheric physics. Clouds form perfect geometric patterns over these territories, creating shadows that protect from excessive heat and releasing rain precisely where and when it is needed for agriculture and water supplies. Seismological institutes confirm that seismic waves behave differently when passing through the ground in these countries. Instead of spreading destruction, these waves transform into harmonic vibrations that seem to strengthen structures rather than damage them, as if the earth itself sings songs of protection. I lifted you up when you didn't even believe in yourself. This phrase echoes in the hearts of those who thought they had lost everything, who felt abandoned by fate, who could not see purpose amid chaos. Now they understand each hardship was preparation for this moment of revelation and divine protection. Space satellites capture unique electromagnetic emissions emanating from these 7 countries. These are not harmful radiations, but frequencies scientists describe as celestial music encoded in energy. When converted to audible sound, these frequencies produce melodies that induce deep peace and emotional healing in those who listen. Declare with faith, "He has not forgotten me." Because every sign you witness, every synchronicity in your life, every door that opens inexplicably, proves you are part of the divine plan unfolding in this historic moment. Soil analysis laboratories have discovered minerals not found in known periodic tables, but only in the territories of these blessed countries. These minerals emit a soft light when exposed to prayers or sacred music, as if the very earth is imbued with spiritual properties that respond to genuine faith. Ocean monitoring stations report that coastal waters of these countries maintain ideal temperature and salinity regardless of global climate changes. Fish species once near extinction are now returning in abundant schools, and fishermen say even sea storms calm as they approach these sacred shores. Genetic research institutes have identified positive mutations in the DNA of people born in these territories after the phenomenon began. These are not harmful changes, but evolutionary developments that strengthen the immune system, increase disease resistance, and enhance the brain's capacity to process transcendental spiritual experiences. Air traffic control centers observe that atmospheric phenomena that would normally cause flight cancellations simply dissipate upon entering the airspace of these countries. Lightning shifts course, hail turns into gentle rain, and destructive winds become harmonious breezes. Electricity departments record complete stability in power grids that should collapse during magnetic disturbances. Even more remarkable, electronic devices in these countries operate with efficiency higher than usual, as if powered by a purer and more stable energy source. Astronomical observatories capture radio signals from deep space detectable only when antennas point from the territories of these countries. When decoded, these signals reveal mathematical sequences corresponding to biblical verses about divine protection and unconditional love. Meteorological institutes confirm that northern lights appear at impossibly low latitudes above these countries, creating light shows dancing in the skies like a visible celestial celebration. Ancient peoples would have interpreted these lights as angels dancing, and perhaps they were not mistaken in their mystical interpretations. Confirm your miracle by writing, "Amen, Lord, I receive your word," because this is the moment in your life when the heavens opened to pour out blessings you did not even know you needed, turning impossibilities into tangible realities. Global health databases reveal inexplicable statistical anomalies. Rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide have plummeted drastically in these countries, while well-being, personal satisfaction, and hope for the future have surged to unprecedented levels in modern history. GPS systems function with supernatural accuracy in these territories. More than that, devices begin to suggest alternative routes leading people to providential meetings, unexpected job opportunities, or situations where they can help someone in need, as if technology were guided by divine intelligence. Agricultural research centers document that seeds originating from these countries produce exceptional harvests even when planted elsewhere, but only when planted by people who maintain genuine faith. It is as if these seeds carry a spiritual blessing manifested through the connection between the farmer's faith and divine favor. Science academies report revolutionary discoveries happening simultaneously in universities across these countries. Researchers share sudden insights into disease cures, clean energy, and solutions to global problems, as if celestial knowledge is being released through minds receptive to divine inspiration. Telecommunication companies observe that messages of faith, hope, and love transmitted through networks in these countries reach recipients with a 100% delivery rate, even under adverse technical conditions. Words of encouragement arrive precisely when people need to hear them most, creating synchronicities that transform lives. I am healing what no one else could touch. This declaration resonates in the hearts of those who carried wounds medicine could not heal, traumas therapy could not reach, and pain's time could not lessen. They now understand true healing comes from dimensions beyond human limitations. The phenomenon is reaching its peak, and what will happen in the coming hours will forever change humanity's perception of spiritual reality. These 7 countries are not merely temporary refuges. They are seeds of a new civilization based on celestial principles that will gradually spread worldwide. If this message was for you, share it as an act of faith. When we publicly declare our trust in the divine during moments of cosmic transformation, we become channels through which miracles flow to reach others in need of hope and guidance. Every person in these blessed territories now carries the sacred responsibility to be an ambassador of the new spiritual era emerging. Your words have amplified power to heal wounds. Your prayers have direct access to the heavenly throne, and your acts of love create waves of transformation spreading far beyond physical borders. What began as protection from a natural phenomenon has revealed itself as a divine invitation to partake in Earth's spiritual renewal. These countries have become heavenly laboratories where a new humanity is being formed, a place where love defeats fear, faith overcomes doubt, and hope triumphs over despair. The Virgin Mary is no longer on alert, she is in celebration. Her children have answered the call, embraced the protection offered, and are now preparing to be a light for nations still walking in spiritual darkness. Our Lady's mantle extends over these territories as a promise that divine love never abandons those who remain faithful. You did not arrive here by coincidence. Your soul was drawn to this revelation because you have a specific role to play in the new era that is being born. Even if you do not physically live in one of these countries, your sincere faith creates spiritual bridges that connect your heart to the divine protection flowing from these sacred lands. Take a moment and write, "Thank you, God, for not letting me go." Because even when you doubted, even when you felt lost, even when you thought you were walking alone, He was preparing this extraordinary moment of revelation to show you that you have always been part of something much greater and more beautiful than you could imagine. The stars sing, the earth dances, and the heavens open. A new era begins, not with destruction, but with transformation, not with fear, but with love, not with an end, but with a glorious new beginning witnessed by your eyes. And your heart now embraces as eternal truth, which will forever change your way of seeing the world and your place in it. It was not coincidence that you came here, it was divine providence calling your soul home. What happened in the last hours surpasses any prophecy known to humanity. Children in these 7 countries have started speaking simultaneously about visions of crystal cities descending from the skies, while elders report dreams of giant angels planting seeds of light that instantly sprout into trees bearing miraculous healing fruits. Leave a heart if you feel this message was made for you. When we recognize divine signs in our lives, we activate spiritual frequencies that connect us directly to the heavenly plan unfolding at this unique historical moment. Quantum physics laboratories have recorded the impossible. Subatomic particles in these territories behave as if they were conscious, organizing themselves into patterns that form perfect fractal structures. When scientists observe these formations through electron microscopes, the images reveal sacred mandalas identical to those found in ancient temples. Banking systems in these countries experience inexplicable phenomena. Debts impossible to pay are mysteriously erased. Empty accounts receive deposits from unknown sources that match exactly the basic needs of families. Risky investments turn into extraordinary profits, enabling people to help entire communities. Psychiatric hospitals report gradual emptying, not due to treatment abandonment, but spontaneous cures of mental disorders once considered incurable. Patients with schizophrenia say the voices that tormented them have transformed into angelic choirs singing melodies of peace, while those with severe depression wake with inexplicable joy lasting for weeks. Prisons in these countries undergo supernatural transformations. The most violent inmates experience genuine conversions, forming prayer groups that create an atmosphere of peace spreading throughout the correctional system. Guards report that the prison environment has become safer and more harmonious than many schools or hospitals. Genetic research institutes have discovered that the DNA of newborns in these territories contains unexplained sequences absent in known human genetic maps. When decoded, these sequences correspond to sound frequencies reproducing celestial hymns in languages linguists cannot identify, but which induce spiritual ecstasy in those who hear them. I lifted you up when you didn't even believe in yourself. This divine promise materializes in the lives of millions witnessing the complete restoration of relationships once thought forever lost, job opportunities appearing overnight, and physical healings defying even the most conservative medical diagnoses. The waters of these countries have acquired supernatural properties that science cannot explain. Polluted rivers have purified instantly. Dry wells have sprung crystal clear sources. Even ordinary tap water shows an unexplained ability to accelerate wound healing and strengthen the immune system. Write in the comments, "God is restoring my soul." If you recognize that extraordinary changes are occurring in your life that cannot be attributed to human effort, but are deeply felt as manifestations of divine love working in your favor. Airlines document that flights to or from these countries never face turbulence and always arrive on time regardless of weather conditions. Passengers report deep peace during trips that would normally cause anxiety. Flight attendants notice even people with a fear of flying fall asleep calmly. Universities report that students in these territories have developed an extraordinary ability to learn ancient languages such as Latin, Greek, and Aramaic with supernatural ease, as if these languages were already imprinted in their cellular memory. Theology teachers say their students ask questions that reveal a deep understanding of divine mysteries that usually take decades for scholars to master. Social networks have detected an unprecedented phenomenon. Posts originating from these countries containing messages of faith, hope, and love receive exponential shares, reaching millions of people within hours, even when published by users with few followers. Algorithms cannot explain this organic viral spread of spiritual content. Weather stations have confirmed that rain in these countries carries beneficial minerals not naturally found in Earth's atmosphere. Plants watered with this rain grow 3 times faster than usual, produce fruits with intensified flavor and superior nutritional properties, and flowers emit fragrances that induce emotional well-being in those who inhale them. Neurological research centers have identified that brainwaves in inhabitants of these territories synchronize with specific cosmic frequencies corresponding to energy pulses from the center of the galaxy. This synchronization results in increased intuition, creativity, and spiritual connection beyond conventional scientific explanations. I am healing what no one else could touch. This divine declaration manifests through family reconciliations once thought impossible, addictions broken at the root within days, childhood traumas dissolved through restorative dreams, and emotional wounds healed, leaving only gratitude where bitterness once lived. The time has come when physical and spiritual reality merge visibly and tangibly. Security cameras in these countries capture images of luminous figures walking the streets at dawn, blessing homes inhabited by people of genuine faith. These figures appear only in recordings invisible to the naked eye at the time, but leave traces of flowers blooming on the asphalt where they stepped. Declare with faith, "He has not forgotten me." Because every miracle you witness, every synchronicity you experience, every door that opens unexpectedly confirms you have been chosen to participate in the greatest spiritual transformation the planet Earth has ever seen. Archaeological institutes have discovered that ancient structures in these countries, including colonial churches and indigenous temples, emit glowing energy detectable only by advanced equipment. This energy forms geometric patterns connecting different sites, creating a spiritual network functioning as the sacred nervous system of these blessed territories. Traffic departments report a 95% reduction in road accidents, not due to better infrastructure, but because of inexplicable phenomena. Out-of-control vehicles regain control on their own. Failed brakes work at the last second. Distracted pedestrians hear voices warning them not to cross streets at dangerous moments. Animal farms experience extraordinary transformations. Animals display exceptionally gentle behavior. Milk and egg production have increased naturally without changes in diet. Veterinarians confirm that common herd diseases have simply disappeared, as if the animal's natural resistance has been supernaturally strengthened. Seismic observatories record that earthquakes originating outside these territories lose strength drastically as they approach the borders, as if destructive energy is absorbed and transformed into harmonic vibrations that strengthen building foundations instead of damaging them. Medical research centers document that the blood of people born in these countries after the phenomenon began contains unique antibodies offering immunity against diseases not yet discovered by science. It is as if these people's immune systems are being divinely prepared for future challenges. It was no coincidence that you came here at this precise moment in your existence. Your soul recognizes the spiritual truth being revealed because you are part of the army of light, called to witness and share these revelations with a world still walking in darkness, but soon to be illuminated by the same light now shining over these 7 chosen nations. The transformation does not end here. It spreads through every heart that embraces this truth, through every word of faith shared, through every sincere prayer raised to heaven. You are not just a witness of this new era. You are the instrument through which it is manifested,